Okay, wow. Now that is a start to the video. Thank you guys for tuning in on today's video. We have been working slowly, progressively on the engine. We're going to go over everything that we just did in the beginning of this video, all the components and parts that are going on this engine. And we are pretty much to the point where we are waiting for our heads from Kill Devil Diesel. So let's go over what we got going on here. Let's do it. So what you saw there was we got our front main seal installed, and then we have our fluid damper up front here. Of course, we got the ARP hardware to secure that. We've got our brand new diesel site water pump. It does have the metal wheel versus the plastic one that the Ford uses. These are really great. I've got these on almost every single one of my trucks, so been really impressed with those. Moving on from there, we've got our thermostat, brand new Ford OEM thermostat, and then because we no longer are going to have heat or AC in the truck, we cap this off. This is the port that goes underneath your degas bottle, so that is capped off. We also cap this side off. This is the other side. This is what feeds the heater core. This is the return side of the heater core over here. So both of those ports are plugged off. And then finally, because we have an ODOG's intake, we've got a freeze plug popped into our front cover here. I believe that is a 3/4 inch freeze plug in case you guys need to replace it. Everything looks really good. So yeah, basically the only coolant ports that we are going to have is our upper radiator hose and our lower radiator hose. So yeah, really simplified here. We're not going to have a bunch of lines running all over the place. It's really going to make the engine bay look pretty. It's going to make the engine look small inside of that engine bay with all the extra room. Now, you guys already know what this is. This right here, this beautiful piece is our bulletproof diesel oil cooler delete plate. So we've got our two fittings here for our remote oil filter and cooler setup. We've got our factory oil pressure sender, factory oil temperature sensor. This is another coolant port that's going to be plugged off coming up through the block. Auxiliary here. This is going to be our turbo feed for our single, possibly compounds. I don't know. You guys are going to have to stay tuned. And then this hideous looking thing is actually our low pressure oil. We might end up switching this out for just a 3-wire pigtail type sensor. This is like their mechanical cheaper version, but it worked where it worked, but it looks hideous, kind of sticking out there. So let's move to the rear of the engine here. You can see we got our rear cover on, and then we installed our rear main seal. Of course, we're using the Ford OEM tools for installation there. This flex plate is an upgraded flex plate. Actually got this from Summit Racing. They've got a heavy-duty style flex plate there. So we've got all of our ARP hardware for that. We don't forget your adapter that goes on before this. So this isn't technically your one-piece design like your billet ones are. But I know guys that are running 1,000 horsepower and still running a factory flex plate. So this heavy-duty one should be plenty sufficient as long as it's even a little bit better than the OEM one. So I'm pretty stoked about that to see how these work out. Moving on from there, we got our high-pressure pump in, and I know you guys saw it. It is the Diesel Site high-output pump. This is their early style 03 and 04 pump. The RCD Thumper 2s are like on a national back order for, yeah, it's going to be probably next year if I were to order one. So we ended up sticking with the early H-pop. We got the high output from Diesel Site. Seen a lot of guys really happy with them. So we're going to give them a shot. And we've got our early cover here. IPR valve is going to go here. So this is one of those covers that's the 04 where you still have the ICP on the valve cover. So we're maintaining the wavy rails and the ICP on the valve cover, but we are going to be utilizing the early high pressure pump. Now, if we look over here, we've got this big box here full of really good parts. We look down here, we got other good parts coming in hot. You guys can take a little sneak peek of that there. We've got a bunch of stuff here. We've got our break-in oil ready to go. Our head studs right there, 625s. And then we got a couple of extra boxes over here as well. get a sneak peek of some of the stuff that we're getting. So yeah, we have made some serious headway. This engine is coming together really quick now. At this point, all we are waiting for is our KDD Icon Series cylinder heads, which we are, from the last word that I heard, we are waiting on, or they are waiting on the bigger valves. So we did get the port job, the full port job, and then we also got the larger stainless steel valves, heavy-duty valve springs, everything like that. And it sounds like everything as far as that stuff goes is done with the heads. They're just waiting on the larger stainless steel valves to come in, and then they can be assembled and shipped out the door. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can see those pretty soon. At this point, we are really only waiting for those heads, and then we'll get the injectors and our turbo setup coming. That is going to be the next thing on the list once we get our heads, so that we can get those torqued down. So very, very exciting. A lot of stuff, a lot of cool things putting this engine together. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast. So we still need to get our oil pan on, which we are getting a bung welded in right now in the event that we go to compounds. Maybe we're going to start off with compounds. I don't know. But we're going to have a port in that oil pan in the event that we do. So stay tuned for that, because that's oil pan is going to be back soon. And we'll get that bolted up, and that will seal up our bottom end. So that's pretty exciting too. Before you know it, we are going to be pulling the race truck inside the barn here and doing some chassis stuff. Might do some tube work. I don't know. Kind of getting a little bit crazy with it. While we wait with the heads, we might as well do some other things. Clean up the engine bay. Maybe we'll do some paint work, stuff like that on the engine bay. Clean everything up, make everything look nice. So yeah, a lot of exciting things. Thank you guys for tuning in on today's video. This is going to wrap it up. The next time you see me with the race truck engine is going to be when we get our aluminum Icon Series cylinder heads. So very exciting. Stay tuned. Catch you in the next one. Peace.